You're listening to Country Music Junkies, hosted by Patrice Whiffen. This week on Country Music Junkies, I'm so pleased to be chatting with Louie, the lead singer for the Hillside Outlaws. Louie, thank you so much for chatting with us.
Oh, thank you for having me on here.
Well, we're really pumped to talk to you, of course, about your debut EP, Country Jukebox, and all that kind of fun stuff that goes along with that. But first, kind of give us a little bit of an introductory to the Hillside Outlaws.
Well, we're just four small-town guys from the interior, Okanagan Valley in BC. We just love playing country music. I grew up in a northern town in Ontario, and my dad was a musician my whole life, and I guess it just kind of rubbed off on me. And in summer of 2016, I got together with Eric and Carlos. We just started writing songs and rehearsing songs and putting this music together, and then we completed the group with Langley Jackson later on in August, and we've just been playing ever since.
There you go. Now talk to me about the name Hillside Outlaws. Where did that come from? Is there a cool story, or was it kind of just something that came to be out of brainstorming sessions and stuff like that?
Yeah, I'd like to say it's a really cool story, but it's one of those. It just kind of happened, It actually started out as a song title, and we were kind of brainstorming some song titles, and we've got this song. It hasn't been released yet, but this song that we created called Modern Day Outlaw. Right? We were just trying to, because a lot of my influence was. Waylon Jennings and the Highwaymen and basically the Outlaws of country. So,
right.
We wanted a song to kind of, to encompass that we're a modern day version of that. And we still hadn't had a name yet for the band. And so we almost ended up being the Modern Day Outlaws, but it was just too long of a name. And so we're brainstorming the name, and the rehearsal spot where we were rehearsing was up in Eric's basement, and he lives up in the hills in Penticton. So, it was kind of a mix of brainstorming and just happy circumstance. There, was about the Hillside Outlaws, and it just kind of, as soon as Eric said it, it was that was it. That was our name.
I would like to say that is actually a pretty good story. You kind of prefaced it as it was going to be like, someone just said it and we went with it and whatever, but that was actually a pretty cool story, and it makes a lot of sense. It relates to your sound. I want to kind of switch gears and talk about your sound in terms of, what fans can expect. I would describe it as kind of gritty almost. I know that you've kind of got a lot of influences in there as well. How would you describe it?
Yeah, gritty is a great word, especially for me vocally. A lot of my influence, like I said, comes from Waylon and, Willie Nelson and the kind of more outlaws of country. And I take a lot of that and use it in my voice. And, with the rest of the band, especially with our guitar player, Langley, who's a huge part of the sound, he comes from more of a rock background. Of course, growing up, and ever since he saw the light, he turned country, years and years ago. But he still has a lot of that heavier sound in his playing, just from his influence, his early influence growing up, and so there's a lot of that translates through, and we are still fairly traditional, and we can be a little twangy at times, but there's always a little bit of edginess, especially with our live shows. I mean, we've heard it time and time again that watching our live show is it's like watching a train almost roll off the tracks, but somehow it stays on track. So we always like to push the limit as far as how we perform and how we play. So yeah, a little bit of edgy grittiness is how I would describe our sound.
We're catching up with the lead singer of Hillside Outlaws, Louie. Now, Louie, talk to me a little bit about the first radio single, Hair of the Dog. What's the story behind that?
Well, Hair of the Dog came about as a writing exercise. with a fellow writer that I met last October. Her name is Trisha Richardson, and she writes lyrics but she doesn't play any instruments. So she wanted to get together with me. She heard us play at the award show, the BCCMA award show last year, and she really wanted to get together and write a song. So we got together and it started out. It was supposed to be a love song. It was supposed to be, the hair of the dog is just this undying love that that exists between a man and a woman. And being a single guy, I couldn't quite relate to it. However, I'm in love with this music. So I pitched it to her. I said, well, what if we use this, the hair of the dog as, the remedy for the way I feel when I'm not playing music. When I have my musical hangover,
right,
rather than a hangover from something else. And I have this musical hangover, and the hair of the dog is actually back up on stage and getting that high and getting that feeling from the crowd again. And once we had that in our head, the song basically wrote itself. And her and I had just a great time writing this song. We got together. She's from Linden, Washington, and I'm from the interior, of course. We met in Vancouver, and we just found a little corner, the hotel that she was staying at down in the lobby. We found a little corner, and we just wrote the song down there, and her husband brought us some sandwiches, and it was a great time. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I had a great time writing that song.
What a cool story. Now, again, fans, check out the Hillside Outlaws debut EP, Country Jukebox. Lots of great tunes on there. You can head to their website, hillsideoutlaws.com. Now, Louie, what is next for you guys? What can fans expect, and where can they connect with you more directly?
Yeah, well, I mean, like you said, our new website is out, www.hillsideoutlaws.com. We're also very active on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. I mean, if you want to know anything, just shoot us a message on Instagram or Facebook, and it bleeps my phone constantly, and I'm always trying to respond to everybody that I can. We have a few shows coming up, August 25th and 26th. We do have a record release parties, because we're just so excited we can't contain it into one day. So we're having a 2-day record release party, one in our hometown of Penticton, actually at the same location that we shot our video for Hair of the Dog. If you've seen our video, it's out on YouTube right now, our music video. And we're also doing a record release party at the Roxy in Vancouver. And this is kind of a special place because we really cut our teeth at the Roxy. We especially coming up, we spent a lot of Sundays, down at the Roxy, traveling, there and back in one day. It's 5 hours there, 5 hours back, just to play 45 minutes up there and try and get our names out. So it's really cool that we get to go and have a release party at the Roxy.
Well, that sounds amazing. That is very cool. Again, fans, head to hillsideoutlaws.com and check them out. Check out their debut EP, Country Jukebox. Louie, thank you so much for chatting with us and filling us in on everything going on, and we look forward to staying in touch.
Awesome, Patrice. I appreciate you having me on here. Thanks so much.